Hello, my name is Taylor. Welcome to my channel where I love to talk about clean and Christian fiction. Today I'm sharing my 2026 TBR. I have never done a year-long TBR video before. I never thought I would because I'm such a mood reader, and I didn't want to put undue pressure on myself or feel like a failure for not getting to all of them. However, I keep seeing books pop up on my feed, or people talk about books that have been on my TBR for such a long time, and it just jogs my memory like, oh yeah, I still really need to get to that book. I really want to read it, but I just haven't for some reason. So I decided to create a list of books that I want to prioritize to kind of keep them top of mind, keep my attention focused, and finally get to all these books because I do really want to read all of them. I just haven't for some reason. So I wanted to share this list with you, and you can let me know if you've read any of these, if I should prioritize some of them, or even give you ideas of what you can add to your TBR. I've debated on how many books to put on this list. I've seen 12, like one per month. I've seen 20. I've seen 26 in 2026. And there's so many books I want to get to. I could do 26. So that's what I'm going to do. This is my 26 and 26 list. These are in no particular order. I just kind of wrote them down how I saw them come across my feed. 11 of these I own physically, so that will help me with my goal of reading more from my physical shelves. And I think I have a pretty good shot at reading most, if not all of these, because like I said before, I really want to read all of these. First on this list is Callie and the Pumpkin Seed by Sarah Baran. This book inspired this video because I keep seeing such good things about this book. Even from people that don't read fairy tale retellings, no bad things have I heard about this book. And I have put this on my fall TBR for the past couple of years since it came out, really, and I just have yet to get to it. So this is the year I will read this book. Resistance by J.L. Knight. So many of my friends here on Booktube adore this book, love this series. It's one of their favorite series of all time. And for that reason, as much as they have raved about it, it has piqued my interest. I also received this as a gift from my lovely friend Christy. And y'all, I just have been intimidated because it's a 6-book series, I think, and they're a little bit chunky for me. I have commitment issues with big book series. They intimidate me a little bit. I have not read one of those in a long time. And yeah, so I just haven't taken the plunge. But I really hope to this year. I think there's audiobooks. So here's to hoping I will get to it this year finally. If you don't know much about it, it is a Christian non-magical fantasy series. The only thing I really know about it is there's a character that believes their version of God, and he's a true follower, but society is telling him not to follow it. That's like a very bare minimum description. So be sure to check out the description box for the links to these books if you want to have more of a synopsis. I'm trying to be quick and not take up y'all's time by reading synopses, but I may read a few. But yeah, Betraying Korth by Mary Meekum. This is the 3rd book in the Legends of Neverland series. I have absolutely adored books 1 and 2, and I just need to continue on with the series. And wouldn't you know that Mary Meekum just dropped the audiobook on YouTube for free, and I was like, this is perfect timing. I'm intending to get to this in February, so sneak peek of my February TBR. It is a villainous Goose Girl retelling. This book may look a little bit familiar because I have put it on several TBRs and have not gotten to it still. And that is Suspended in the Stars by E.A. Hendricks. This one is a clean space opera type story. And I just adore the cover. There looks to be some kind of angst going on. I don't know. I don't really know much about this one. I think it says something about a girl in hiding, a boy on the run, the fate of the galaxy between them. But also, the thank you at the beginning of the book, I was like, I need to read this. It says, to Gene Roddenberry, Captain Picard, and the rest of the Star Trek Next Generation crew, you shaped my imagination from a young age with the exploration of different worlds and people groups. That's literally me. I grew up watching Star Trek. I am a Trekkie. It's one of my favorite series of all time. So, I mean, anybody who puts that in their thank you, I think it's worth, I need to read it. Okay. It's worthy of my reading it. Also, another one that has been on my fall TBR list for a couple of years now and still has yet to be read is Laurel's Dream by Pepper Basham. This one is a historical Christian story, Christian romance. And yeah, I think it has something to do about the Blue Ridge Mountains in 1918. Laurel McAdams is attempting to make her dreams come true, but sometimes life in the mountains is a way of squandering dreams. As she attempts to avoid matrimony, she is secretly saving for her future with the sole purpose of becoming a teacher and becoming consistent education to her people. Having failed his British father again by becoming unable to fight in the Great War, Jonathan Taylor joins his uncle's missionary endeavors as a teacher in a two-room schoolhouse in Appalachia. But nothing prepares him for the rugged wilderness, narrow-minded natives, and Laurel McAdams. So, I think it sounds really sweet. I've had several friends talk about this one, and it just looks very fall to me, so that's why I have it bookmarked for fall. So, here's to hoping I'll get to it this year. Another Mary Meekum book. Actually, I am unofficially trying to read her to zero. I have a few authors that I want to do that for, so I don't even know if that's worth my doing a video because there's very few that I want to do that for, but Mary Meekum is one of them. And this one is a clean fantasy story. I have the very pretty special hardback edition. This one says, to assassinate her target, she must marry her enemy. So that's all I need to know. It's Mary Meekum, it's fantasy, it's clean, it's on my list. I need to continue with the Timeless series, y'all. This is where I'm at, book 5. Book 6 is already out. I think book 7, maybe book 8 is coming out this year. I know at least book 7, but I need to get caught up. And I am interested in this storyline primarily because of the Jack the Ripper. One of the timelines is Jack the Ripper. I could have put book 6 on here as well, but I did want to put a different book in its place, but kind of just know I would like to get to both of them, but at the very least book 5. Callur or Callur, not sure how to say it because I've heard it said multiple ways, but it is by J.J. Fisher. This is published by Enclave, so it is a Christian fantasy 3-book series. It's part of the Nightingale trilogy. I am hoping to get to book 1. I am a, once I start a series, I need to finish it person, partly because of the memory, but I do like to start and then finish. So if I do get to this, I will probably get to books 2 and 3, so it's kind of like honorable mentions. I should probably say that for the rest of these books, if there are any book 1s on here, I'm kind of saying I want to get to the whole series this year. We'll see if that happens, but so many of my friends have said such good things about this book. I have a Jamie Jo Wright on this list, and a lot of people love her books. And I've read 2, maybe 3 by her. I can't really remember, but they've all been 3-star books for me. So just okay. I enjoyed them, but they weren't my favorites. This book especially is one that a lot of people recommend out of all of her books, and I own it. And so I thought I would try again and read this year. Probably during like the October time period because her books are kind of like more, not disturbing, but a little bit more spooky type of unsettling type of books to read. I just think that's perfect for October. And by the way, I really love this cover. The gray and the pink is really pretty to me. And it says, Jewel Timeline is typical. I'll just read the tagline. A haunting legend, an ominous curse, a search for a secret buried deep within the castle walls. She is known for kind of taking superstitious stories and ideas and really weaving faith throughout it. So I am cautiously optimistic. Hopefully I will like this one. The Radiance of the Moon by Ashley Worrell. Not sure if I'm saying her name right at all. I have trouble with double R's. I don't know. Anyways, this one is a historical Scottish romance, and I heard about this from Amanda, and she gifted this book to me for Christmas. And yeah, this one has been on my list for quite a while, and those are some of my buzzwords: Scottish, history, romance. It's been recommended. Awakened by Rosanna M. White. This one is a Little Mermaid retelling. I think this is Rosanna's first fantasy story. I've read one book by her, but just the fact that it's a Little Mermaid, I was intrigued. But I actually pre-ordered this book and I never read it, but it's got pretty sprayed edges. So yeah, I may or may not get to this in February, not sure, but there is a Mermaidathon, Readathon later this year, so if I don't get it in February, I hope to read it during that Readathon. The last physical book on this list is Crown of Beauty and Anarchy by Aurora Bell. I had seen this marketed a ton by my friends on Booktube, and it is written by a former booktuber, Melanie Kilsby, if you have seen that name before. She's one of the original booktubers. She doesn't currently make videos, but she wrote this book, and it is a fairy tale retelling of Snow White, perfect for fans of Melanie Dickerson and Melanie Sellier, so that's right up my alley. So I'm hoping to get to this next month because this was a sweet gift from a dear friend, and yeah, I want to support Melanie and see how I like it. Alliance Bride by J.L. Knight. This is written by the same person that wrote Resistance, and just the fact that so many of my friends love that author, I was already intrigued, but the cover is stunning. I need to read it just because of the cover, but it is a historical type setting, but is a fantasy book. That's enough for me to read it. Dare by Trisha Mingerink. I don't know if I said her name right. Anyways, this one is another favorite from my friends. I think I've seen Celestria read this recently. It was a reread for her and she still adored it, so I need to read it. I'm pretty sure it's Christian, not entirely sure, but it is a fantasy story. Don't really know much about it, don't remember, but I have enough to go on where I'll just read it. Project Hail Mary. I forgot to write down the author's name, so I'll have it on the screen for you to see and in the description box. But this one is a very popular secular book, and I had read his other book, The Martian, like years ago before I became a Christian, and I remember really enjoying it. I do remember that one having a lot of language. I've heard this one doesn't, and I've heard such good things about this one as well. It's sci-fi, which I do enjoy sci-fi myself, and I think there's a movie coming out this year, maybe? I'm not sure, but I would love to read the book first. And yeah, most recent of my friends that read it was Tammy, and she said it was excellent. Antioch's Daughter by Jenna Van Maurik. This one is the sequel to Jerusalem's Daughter that I read, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Gosh, has it been that long? Anyways, I really enjoyed Jenna's writing, and I look forward to seeing what she does in the sequel with a different set of characters than the first book. This one is set during the time of Jesus, and yeah, this is like the first church type of activities that are happening. There is another book that I think she's written 2 more, but one I'm particularly interested in is when Jesus was born, like I think it's Bethlehem's Daughter, I think. So I want to read it in publication order. I'm rambling. But yeah, she is an indie published author, and she also has a channel here on YouTube. She hasn't been active much lately, but I adored her YouTube videos when she had them. But I want to continue to support her. The Chaos Grid by Lindsay Llewellyn. This is published by Enclave. I think this is a dystopian where some powers that be decided to try to control the weather, and it ended up turning Texas into a wasteland, and there's some techie type stuff going on. I don't know, the cover is really intriguing to me, and I've also heard really good things about it, so we'll see. Legacy of Glass by Melanie Sellier. This is the next book I need to read in the Kingdom series. If you've seen my favorites of 2025, you know I loved the 2 previous books in this series, and I just need to continue on. I just don't know why I didn't continue, but I need to. Bound by Wishes by Jessica Spruill. This one is an Aladdin-inspired, Aladdin loosely themed story. Not quite sure, but I will admit the cover also intrigues me. I'm a cover girly, what can I say? But I've seen this all over Instagram. It's a clean story. It's a retelling, so naturally my interest is piqued, but I've seen some really good reviews as well. Beneath False Stars by S.D. Graham. I wish I could tell you what this book was about, but Goodreads, it has a blank description, which I've never seen before, from a traditionally published book. It was really weird. But anyways, if you really want to know, I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. But this one was published by Enclave, and I think it's like a sci-fi story. Again, the cover. That's all I need to know. But yeah, A Time Traveler's Masquerade by Sian and Bessie? I probably just butchered her name. Apologies. But this is a clean secular fiction book where the female main character is in a costume shop, I think, and she's transported back to 1605 to the gunpowder plot with Guy Fawkes, and I think she's trying to thwart it or something. It's time travel. It's clean. I've seen it around a lot. Glass Across the Sea by Sarah Ella. First of all, the cover, y'all. It's perfection. But anyways, this is a fairy tale retelling. This is a Cinderella and Count of Monte Cristo mashup I saw. So just the cover, the fairy tale retelling aspects of it. I need to get to it. Hopefully in February. We'll see. If not, at some point this year. The Scarlet Star by Jennifer Kropf. It is a Beauty and the Beast and Esther story. And I don't know, something about the cover. I'm just gonna sound like a broken record, but I am a sucker for a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and the fact that it is mashed up with a Bible story, I need to know. Heart of Red, Blood of Blue by Rebecca Ballaston. This is another one that has been on my TBR since I started Booktube because I had seen several of my friends really rave about this one. It is a standalone fantasy story about a girl that has a different blood type or something, and she's supposed to be engaged to be married, and she runs away, I think. I'm not sure. But I have been told to really read this one, so I am finally going to read it this year. I am determined. I think it also has an audiobook, which will be very helpful. The last book on this very long list is The Huntress by Carrie Cotton. This one I really felt like I need to read this because within the space of a day, I saw Kay from Kay's Library put this on her 2026 list, and Caitlin from the Chronicles of a Book Nerd told me that the audiobook is duet style, where the female narrator says the female lines and the male narrator says the male lines, like throughout the book, not just like POVs. And I had just bought the audiobook, and then I saw somebody else write a review for it, like all within a day, if not just a few hours. I can't really remember, but I was like, I need to add this to the list. So there was another book on here. It was the 6th book in the Timeless series, so that one got pushed out of the way for this one because I need to read this year. It is a Christian historical fantasy, maybe? I know it's Christian fantasy. Don't really know much more about it, but I've heard so many good things. It's been all over Instagram, so it made the list. Thank y'all so much for watching. Have a blessed day, y'all. Bye.